What is up, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Andrew for UberCrit. I'm joined by Miguel over there. How you doing, Sir Migglesworth?
Neither of those was my name.
We're not worried about that today. We're just worried about hot takes, and today we're going to be looking at 1000 Days to Escape, made by first-time publisher developer Lemon Squeezy. They making it easy, man. They making it easy over here.
That was slick.
Yeah. That was right on in there. Alright, so this is the hot take. We're both going to be giving our takes on the game, a little bit of banter back and forth. Miguel.
Yes, sir.
What did you think?
Okay.
Overall.
So,
or like a preview. What do you got going on in your noodles right now?
Okay. The game is very much, it's almost like a speed running simulator.
Sure.
That's my hot take.
Okay. My take is that it's a good time management game with like resource management, time management style simulator game.
Right.
With a fun coat of paint over it. All right, so there basically isn't a story in this game.
Correct. When
you click on it, I think it says that Earth is dying and you have 1,000 days to get everyone off, and that's all you get.
Right.
There's nothing there. The main gist of the game is you're trying to get everyone off of Earth, and you do this by
yeeting stuff into your ship.
Yeah, that's a way to say it.
Well, how would you say it?
No, that was fine. It's just literally the word yeet. The game is about yeeting. You yeet people into a ship and then yeet them into other planets.
Sure. So
other planets.
This is the best space eating simulator of 2019. I would venture to say.
So far.
You
don't know, man. There might be another space yeet this year.
Yeah, man. But essentially, it's a very simple game.
Mm-hmm.
It almost comes down to a rhythm. Like, once you get into it, you click on something, and you go, and you know what you need to do. And if you're really focused in on it, it almost feels like a rhythm game, which absolutely is not what they were aiming for. But everything is so, like, in line what you need to do. It just sort of, you get in that groove, I think.
Right. In game development terms, that would be the flow state is when you get into the groove, when you're on fire, when you're in the zone.
Sure.
And that is when a challenge is requiring enough skill without making you too stressed, so that you're at this perfect ratio of challenge to, ease, I suppose.
I will say, I think that this game hits that flow perfectly when you first start, right? When you're first learning the game and you're first learning how to do things, it hits that moment when you finally get everything going. And then after you play it again, after you've beaten it, or after you played it a few times, you know exactly what to do. Mm-hmm. And then it's not hard anymore.
Right.
It just, you know what to do and you go out and do it.
Yeah. That's one of the things I was going to market for as a con, eventually, was that once you get into the groove of things, the game doesn't change at all.
No.
It's very, very shallow in this sense.
Sure. I don't know if they were looking to give the most deep experience in something like this. This
right.
is a small indie game from, I don't know this for sure, but I would imagine a 1 or 2 person team, maybe 3.
Right.
And it's a $5 game. It's a bite-sized game.
Mm-hmm.
So some people could see that as a con. I kind of take it as a net neutral, just because it starts off really great, but I don't know. One thing I will con this game for is I don't think it has that much replayability.
Exactly. That's what I meant.
I can't imagine going back to this very often. Maybe. The third time I played it, I beat it, and I did not try again since, till today.
Ah, alright.
I can imagine myself coming back to it, I don't know, every once in a great while. I'm just looking for something to play that's going to take me like half an hour.
Right.
I might boot it up every once in a while, because it's a small, it's not a time investment. It's something like if I have half an hour to kill, I could potentially see myself doing this, but not very often.
Mm-hmm.
What I will say is a positive for me, I absolutely adore the graphics in this. It's 2D, but it's 2D in the sense of almost, it reminds me of construction paper. I don't know why, like someone just took out, like cut up these images of what everything is, and that's what it is, especially when you look at the little warriors. that you're clicking, they look like little paper cutouts. It's adorable.
I feel the opposite way as far as the feeling of paper. I feel like everything has great depth outside of like the planets. They're oddly less well shaded than like the ships and stuff.
Sure.
I suppose the components and the things you have to send to different planets are fairly flat. They look like tokens almost that you put in your ship to go do whatever you're supposed to do. But the ship itself is very like clean and like it's well shaded. It looks like it has depth. And then like the map looks good. It looks like a star chart almost. I do like the art. That being said, I really do like it. It's very stylistic and it all fits well together. Nothing seems out of place. Even the ship being kind of a standout, but that's a good thing because that's the ship. That's the important component.
Right. In a game that is so simple and has so little, you need to kind of nail.
You wouldn't consider like SimCity or anything a time management game, right? That's more of a resource management.
Yeah.
But it also is that. I think this is like if you took that element of SimCity,
like the core values of that,
and made it bite-sized, like we said earlier.
Sure.
That's what you get. That's this game.
It's so weird to me that this feels like a phone game, but also like you wouldn't be able to play it well on a phone.
Yeah, I agree. This would be impossible on phone. Not impossible, but it would not be nearly as satisfying, which is weird because it already is kind of like, it seems purposefully obstructive to you, like to the player,
right?
In that things are difficult to do.
Yeah, well, for example, right, my most hated and loved thing about the game is having to throw the people in the ship, like your actual people, like a salt shaker.
Yeah.
And the reason why it's annoying is you put your hand on the mouse and you just have to go up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. And I don't know, after a while, because when I played for 2 hours straight, just because I did 3 back to back. And by the time I was on my third one, I was like, I'm really tired of moving my hand back and forth. The last thing we could really touch on, I guess, is the music, which...
I disagree.
Oh no.
I have to pick apart this HUD. This user interface, this UI.
Okay.
It is a mess. Things that are very important are not nearly highlighted well enough. Whether this is another intentional like obstruction that you're supposed to like get over, that could be the case. But for example, the distance and populations that a planet requires and can sustain are far too small in the UI.
Sure.
They are not. They're close-ish to the center, and they're right under their planet, but they are not nearly made clear enough to get started in this game. On top of that, the hints did not mention it.
No, it did not.
It does not. The game does actually not teach you how to play it.
No, you basically spend the first time playing 1,000 Days to Escape just learning. Mm-hmm. You have almost no chance of winning.
And it's not even really learning, it's figuring it out.
Yeah, it's failing. Which I guess some people...
That's learning.
I think there's a balance you need to strike. I think people don't like when a game holds your hand too much, where it's like, this is how you jump, this is how you shoot, this is how you do everything. Like, some people can find that annoying.
Right, particularly if it forces you to go through it. If you're a veteran at this game, but you do multiple playthroughs, you don't want to have to sit through it. Exactly.
But this one kind of goes too far in the other direction, where even when you turn on the tutorial, which is optional to begin with, it doesn't tell you everything. Which... I don't know, some people might appreciate that, but also I feel like if you're turning on the hints, it should be there.
Especially because hints aren't on by default. It asks you if you want them.
That's fair. The UI to me, it's fine. It's okay. I think it's a little wonky sometimes to have to go back to the main UI to then click on the map, or like to reverse those things. Maybe if I played it a few more times, I would get more used to it, and it wouldn't be something that's wonky, but I shouldn't have to get used to it.
Well, again, I think that might be one of those elements that are purposefully obstructive to the player. So that is the challenge of the game, is maneuvering this user interface.
Sure. All right. So music. Fine.
Perhaps this is a good thing that I don't really notice it.
Yeah.
It kind of just sits there, but I'm not thirsting for more sound.
No. It's not. You're not gonna. This is not the type of game you're gonna go out and buy the soundtrack for.
Right.
It just chills in the background. Very spacey. I think there's only 2 or 3 tracks in the game, and they're very long.
Right. Yeah, I would say they do their job. It just is enough to like occupy your brain in the dead spots.
I thought you were gonna say the depths of space.
Yes.
I thought you were gonna be very clever. All right, so overall, my hot take on this is that I think it's fun. I think it's good for what it is, but there are some problems with learnability of the game, with replayability of the game. But all that being said, it's only $4.99. I would probably have to give it a B minus. It does what it does really well, but there are basic decisions that the developer made that holds it back a little bit from it being a perfect game for what it is.
Right. That's a lot closer than I expected to my rank or my grade than I believed you were going to give it. I thought you'd give it a solid B plus or something, because I'm giving it a flat C. Right in the middle of the pack. It's good enough. It's definitely good enough. It's not anything super special though. Like perhaps it's a unique idea. I don't know many other games like it, but it doesn't make me want more games like this, and it doesn't make me want to play it again ever.
Sure.
So it's an experience for $5. That's good enough.
All right, so that's been our hot take. This has been Andrew and Miguel for UberCrit. If you liked what you saw here, go ahead and leave a comment down below, subscribe, and click that little notification bell to hear more of our beautiful voices. Or not. It's up to you. It's a free world.